Hello again, brilliant minds. Welcome to the session 4 of our journey. This is the fourth session and the second week. Anybody is as excited as I am. So, if you have made it this far, it means you have not just been observing problems anymore. You are starting to think like Joseph. Anybody thinking like Joseph in the house? And today we are going to go even deeper. We are going to learn how to take a big idea and break it down into something small, something smart, and something powerful. And we can truly try out. So, that particular thing I'm going to be teaching you today is called strategy. Now, that's what Joseph did, and that's what you are going to be learning today. So, this session is titled Thinking Like Joseph, Designing Solutions. So, just see it as a part two of the previous session that we had earlier in this week. So, designing a tech powered solution. So, basically, we can just call it solutioning. In this session, I'm going to teach you how to go identifying a real problem and designing a smart, simple solution that can work, just like Joseph did. A quick recap: in session 1, we explored tech. Session 2, we talked about the different possibilities of tech. Session 3, I taught you how to ask why. How many times? Yes, 5 times for those that got it right. To ask why 5 times and using the why ladder to understand the root of a problem. And now it's time to create simple, smart, and real solution. I'm going to be teaching you different frameworks. The last framework we learned was the why ladder. Today, I'm going to be teaching you maybe 3 frameworks, but I promise you they are not difficult at all. If you want to explore tech, you need to talk in tech terminologies. It's very important. You cannot explore tech without speaking like someone that works in it. It's the same way as Christians. You can't be a Christian without talking your Bible, without praying. It's also important that if you are doing tech, there must also be bits and pieces, fruits of being a tech person, which is also in the language, in the lingo that you communicate with. Now, just a background for my solutioning today. I want you to understand that WhatsApp did not just automatically become WhatsApp, that we can do video call, voice call, group chat, community. It didn't start like that. The first and only feature that came with WhatsApp the first time was just chat. And then from there, they layered on other things, other things, other things, other things that you see today. There was a time that TikTok did not exist. It was Facebook and Instagram. There was a time that none of this existed. It was just Facebook. So any tech solution starts from a tiny bit. A tiny bit. So nothing nobody builds out something big all of a sudden. They start from the smallest, smallest tiny thing that solves the problem. And that's how I'm going to teach you today, how to identify the smallest of your solution. So there will be a lot of things to solve, but when you pick up the smallest thing, you then layer on that small thing. And today, our anchor Bible verse is from Genesis chapter 41, verse 33 to 35. It says, Joseph said to Pharaoh, now let Pharaoh look for a discerning and wise man. Let him appoint commissioners to collect food. They should store up the food during the good years. So we see that Joseph not only interpreted the problem, he designed a strategic plan. He used insights to create a solution that saved the millions. That's exactly the mindset that we are teaching you. So we'll go on to solutioning. What is solutioning? Solutioning is the creative, strategic process of designing a way forward. Solutioning is a creative and strategic process of designing a way forward. Now, solutioning explains to you that the best tech founders, the leaders, they don't just notice problem, they build solutions that work. Joseph did not just stop at interpreting the dream, like I told you the last time. He acted on it, he created a strategy, and you are now going to start thinking like that. So we are going to think like Joseph, create strategies. Now I'm going to teach you a framework that I called idea to MVP framework. This is the second framework we are learning. The first framework we learned was the Y ladder. The second framework is idea to MVP framework. Don't worry, I will explain it. It's not a lot, but I want you to know the name first. Can you repeat after me? Idea to MVP framework. Now, the first step of this framework tells you that to identify the ideas. So this is the I in idea. The I in idea means identify ideas. Tautology. No. Now, what let me introduce you to what identifying ideas mean. This step means you have to brainstorm, you have to think, you have to come up with many ideas, many solutions, which is one we've done this similarly in one of our previous sessions, where you just think of plenty things that you want to solve or plenty ways you can solve a problem. You come up with these ideas as many as possible. They could solve all the that could solve the problem that you're focusing on. So, for example, if your group is to solve with the problem of bullying, you don't like how people are bullying people in class, and you want to generate different ideas to how you can solve it, you can start by creating a group, a student-led group. Then you can say, oh, we'll call all the people that have been affected by bullying, all the victims, let them fill a form, we'll gather them together. You can say, oh, we'll do posters and tell people bullying is bad, reminding them to be kind and all of that. We can do a system where anybody that's a new student in the school, we give them a buddy, like a friend, to onboard them to the school so that nobody will bully them. So you different ideas can come up anywhere. People use sticky notes, you can write it in your book, you can write it on a wall. Just write plenty ideas everywhere. Brainstorm as many as possible. This point, quantity is important. The more the ideas you can brainstorm, the better for you. So the first step here is identify ideas. The second step is to decide what's possible now. Now I know we are talking about the idea to MVP framework, but I'm going to branch a little bit to another framework that I call impact to effort matrix. Now, don't be stressed. This is very easy. It's as easy as the idea to MVP framework. It is just us telling us that all our ideas, be able to say, okay, we can't do all of our ideas at once. Imagine when they were starting WhatsApp that they say, "Oh, we'll do this, we'll do this, we'll do this, we'll do everything, and they do everything all in that day. It will take long for them to launch. But because they said, okay, let's pick only chat alone, they will launch faster. People are already using it. Then before people know, say, go and update your WhatsApp, oh, there's new feature there. You update your WhatsApp, you see something there. While you are still celebrating that one, their team is working again, working again. That's what they use to define that process is what they call impact and effort matrix. So impact is like saying, how will this thing impact people? How will people like this thing? How will it affect them? That's impact. Effort is what effort will it take us to do it? If it will take us plenty effort and people will only the significance to people will only be very tiny, you just realize that oh it's not worth it. Let's not do it. But if not that this thing is small effort, but people will like it oh you just say yeah let's do that one. Or if you know that the effort is mid, but the result too is mid, you know that okay, we'll do that one later, but not that we'll not do it at all. So that's what impact effort matrix is. So what it does is it is a grid, it's a matrix, it's like a cross. See it as a cross, but an equal cross. Remember the cross where Jesus died. But yeah, this is not the cross where Jesus died. This is the impact effort matrix. Don't worry, I'll show you a clear diagram and you'll be surprised when you see it. But I saved it for later. In this cross, we have different ends of the cross. And that's where we plotted our impact and effort. I will show you. So this is the second thing that will impact effort matrix will help you do. It will help you decide what is possible now. What can we do now? I've been using WhatsApp as an example. So I'm sure WhatsApp team would have started and said, okay, the first thing is people must be able to communicate with each other. What's the way that people are communicating with each other today? Text message, Facebook message. Okay, let us do message. Message will be easy for us to do. Small thing we'll do it, but then to have big impact on people, then they'll start from there. Quickly do that one. As we are still enjoying it, I'm chatting with somebody. Next thing they've introduced Oya call. So that way, WhatsApp was able to figure out what is the possible solution that we can give people now. And that is what I'm going to lead me to the next thing I'm telling you about, which is minimum viable product. Now, I'm teaching you these terminologies because they are very important. You cannot be in tech and not learn these terminologies. Say minimum viable product. So you see, the first product that hits a market by any tech product that they are working on is what they call minimum viable product. So the minimum viable product of WhatsApp was chat. Before any update at all was chat. That was the minimum viable product. For Instagram, the minimum viable product, first ever was post pictures. Just be posting pictures. That was their minimum viable product. Anybody can think of TikTok's minimum viable product. Yes, videos, short videos. That was their very first feature. That was the minimum viable product for TikTok. Think of any app that you use regularly today. What's the most used app that you know that your parents use? Ask them what was the first feature that came on this app. That is the minimum viable product for that particular app. So today you know that any product, any solution you want to give, you must figure out first what is the minimum viable product. And it's the impact effort matrix that will help us know our minimum viable product. Now, I've talked about three frameworks: idea to MVP framework. Now, that MVP in idea to MVP product, this is the meaning minimum viable product. So, from your idea to minimum viable product framework, you see how they all join together. I hope that you understand. Now, let's go on to the third step of idea to MVP for product: execute. Now that you've figured out what your minimum viable product is, okay, let's go. Let's start building it. How do we want to build it? Who will benefit from it? Who is the most who is the most influential out of it? For example, now that you know where your MVP is, it's time to shape the basic plan. Again, no need for an app or like a big project, just something that works and something that helps. Think of it like building a starter version of your big idea. Say for example, you are brainstorming ideas and placing them in a impact effort matrix. The one that lands in the high impact, that will impact people more, and low effort, that will not cost you any energy at all, is the one that you should try out. That's usually the one that people try out first. So the last step of this process is what I call ask for feedback. Before you go on in all in your ideas, ask others what do they think? What do you think is missing? Well, will it work? Is it clear? This habit is a very great innovator habit. This is an habit that innovators they build this habit, always asking for feedback. Some people don't like asking for feedback. When you do something, you just feel like, oh, it should be good. Be open to ask people for feedback. Be able to ask people, okay, what do you think about this? Is this good enough? Let me know what you think. Give me an insight. What can I do better? What should I not do at all? Always ask for feedback. Test the ideas with real people. In the larger advanced tech, there are different ways we test ideas, which I will not go into. But the little way you can do it right now is asking, is this helpful? What is missing? Would you use it? Why would you use it? Why would you not use it? Share it with classmates, your mentors, your facilitators. Let them see your idea. You don't have to have built it out before they know it, before you show it. Let them see your idea even from the very tiny stage. Listen and iterate just like real builders do. When you get those ideas, take it back and use it to revamp what you have done. We are going to go through a class example, and I know that you'll really enjoy it. So now, there's a problem. Students that attend this class, they always forget to bring their materials to class. What are the problems you can think of? Let's think of different problems. Oh, maybe they forgot it. Maybe they don't even have the materials at all. Maybe they've not bought their own materials. Or Like I said, we use the why. So why did they forget it? Maybe their mommy was not at home, or their mommy was busy when they were leaving the house, so their mom could not remind them. Why couldn't their mom remind them? Oh, their mom is maybe not always home, or their parents are busy people. Why their parents busy? Oh, they work, they have to provide, and all. So those that's us going deep into this problem. So now, if we've discussed the problem, what are the ways to which you can solve it for somebody that we know that okay, their parents are not maybe always at home? You can be said, okay, we'll set a student reminder to always remind them so that they will at least bring it when they are coming. We will say, okay, maybe anybody that brings their own notes to class away, they will collect a gift. And then people do that. I must not forget my notes because I must win a gift today. Some there might be like a song that you sing on assembly that say, "Oh, don't forget to bring your book to school." And when you hear that song ring in your head, you can definitely remember to bring your book. Then another example would be, oh, maybe there's a WhatsApp group, and then we remind each other on the WhatsApp group. Maybe the parents are on the WhatsApp group too. So when the parents see the messages, they'll have to nudge you to say, oh, yeah, there's a message on the group that says you should bring so and so to school. There could also be peer accountability. So your friends will call you, did you don't forget your book? Oh, okay, I will not forget. So there are different ways to which you can solve a problem. And this will now lead me into our impact effort matrix. I was telling you about the cross. This is my magical cross. Now you see that this cross has one line like this, one line horizontally. The first is vertically. At the top of the cross, where Jesus' head is where we have high impact. At the bottom here is where we have low impact. On this hand, which is the open hands wide of God, we have the high effort on one side and low effort on that same side. Notice that efforts are always on the same line. Impact too is on the same line. High and low. The up one is high, the lower one is low. Now, the different ideas I generated that okay, these are ways where we can always stop people from forgetting to bring their materials to class. I'm not going to put it in this box. Okay, which one will give me the highest impact? Which one will work? A reward system will work. Who does not like gifts? A reward system will work. We all like free things. So, but this will take high effort because it means that I'll start spending money to buy things, which is high effort. You get me? So, this is high impact, high effort. Peer accountability too is also high impact because when your friends are reminding you of something, it means that oh, you hardly forget what your friends have told you compared to what your teachers have told you. Now, if but it only takes a friend that remembers to remind you. So that's why this is also an high effort. Now, the next bit is high impact but now low effort. This is the WhatsApp group. All it takes is for your teacher to send a message to the WhatsApp group. Your parents will then tell you, oh, don't forget this book. And we see that here that it will take low effort, just a text message, but then the impact will be high because the instruction is coming from your parents, which you cannot disobey them. The next bit is low effort, low impact. This one will not take us anything to do. But at the same time, the impact it will have is very tiny. For example, who can think of a feature that has low impact in WhatsApp? You most likely might not use it. There's a particular feature that me I don't use. I think it's low impact by me. You can record your face and do a video. It's like a voice note, but like a video note. I rarely use it, and I don't think a lot of people also use it. That's an example of a feature that is low impact. I mean, by me, and I know it would have taken them a high effort to build it. So if there's anything that is low impact and we take high effort, in that kind of case, we avoid this kind of feature. We avoid it because we don't want to waste our effort. Because it means that as much effort we want to give, the impact is very low. But in more advanced situation, you might tell you that no, avoid it completely. Just keep it that this is the last thing we will do. We will not touch you now. Your own is later, later, later. But you see where I want you to pay your attention is here. Things that will do small work, but then the impact will be very high. Now let's talk about the low effort, low impact. This one will require low effort though. Will not do much, but then we should not be expecting much from it at all. Like reminder cards. What if I even forget the card? Checklist song on assembly. I've already gotten to school already. So how will that be useful if I'm already in the school? Will I go back and go and pick the book? So right now, for cases like low impact, low effort, you skip and or you rethink it. You can rethink this kind of solutions. And then you know definitely that the first one where you prioritize, which will be your MVP. So this is how to figure out your MVP. This is your MVP sitting right here. It says it is low in effort, but then it is high impact. And this is what you do first. This is the first thing that you do. The next one, okay, this one here is you do later, but it's a big win. It will give you high impact, but then high effort which you use to build it, but then you know that okay, this is a good work. So that's how to carry out your impact effort matrix. I hope if you don't even understand it, the fact that you know it alone is sufficient for this conversation. The fact that you know that an MVP exists, you know that impact effort matrix exists, you know as well that minimum viable product exists. That is enough and that is sufficient. But we know what we don't do here, we don't do enough. We do above and beyond. We are excellent in our doings. So it would be nice for you to take time to understand it properly the way that you ought to understand it. So now this takes, like I said, this takes us to the MVP plan. So now you know that you want to be sending reminders. So you can just create a reminder template, assign a student to be sending reminder, maybe one test per week. And see, after people have remember what's our last framework in idea to MVP framework? Ask for feedback. So you need to ask people for feedback. Oh, how do you feel about this thing? Is this thing working? Since we implemented this WhatsApp that we have sent to people, how many people have actually not forgotten their book since then? Are people still forgetting their book? Has the situation gotten worse? So this is a way that we actually use to test. So you must always ask for feedback. After a week, survey the class. Did it help? Just like that, a small clear idea becomes something useful. So here's what we have learned today. We have learned so much that we can turn our insight into strategy. We have learned about the idea to MVP framework. We have learned about the impact effort matrix. We have learned about the MVP, the simple thing, the most tiny granular thing that can be built. You see, you are now solution builders. You're already becoming a builder. You're not just a problem watcher. You are doing what Joseph did, and that is very, very powerful. I have assigned practical assignment here, practical task, which your teachers and your facilitators will take you through. And I know that you are definitely going to have a great time doing all of those tasks. You actually have to carry out your own impact effort matrix. Yes, you will have to do that. I'm sorry, but you will have to do it. But I promise you that it is so much fun. You enjoy doing it if you are collaborating with people. Like I said, brainstorm as many ideas as possible. Let your ideas be a lot. And then in your practical session, you'll be able to apply everything that we have discussed. I can't wait to see what your brilliant MVP ideas look like. I can't wait to see the MVP ideas that you come up with. I can't wait to see them. And I can't wait to see you talking in tech language. That is very, very important. I need to hear you telling me things like why ladder, things like impact effort matrix, things like MVP, things like idea to MVP framework. Let's things like solutioning. Let your parents ask you, oh, have you washed the plate? And you tell them, oh yeah, I have done the minimum viable product. That's a joke. Or you want to use impact effort to measure the plate that you wash first and the ones you wash later. You can actually use impact effort matrix. In this case, you realize that washing the plate can actually have a better impact. And then, but it takes less effort because you just quickly wash it. But washing pot is high effort, high impact. Anybody can think of anything that is high effort but low impact in washing plate. I can maybe washing the bowls, maybe. But yeah, so I hope we had fun in this class. I really look forward to seeing you in the next class. Don't forget to talk in tech lingos, like I said. Don't forget to carry out your impact effort matrix, and don't forget to think like Joseph. See you next time.